Hello and welcome, MRL race fans. We are here for the Sunday and Monday Lights Series competition Fastlane at Gateway. So, with that, we are looking at the two races that happened last Sunday and Monday. On the day that this is released, that was just this past week. So, Gateway. Again, if you watch the Cup Series race, it was a battle. It was a battle of strategy, and it was a battle of just track position. Sunday is very different than Monday. And again, if you want to watch both, then they're all right here at Millennium Racing League. Bam, and then bam. Again, we're so close to 50 subs. We're so close, so close. But yeah, the Sunday side and the Monday, two total different races. Sunday, caution free. Funnily enough, Sunday has yet to have a caution all season. Meanwhile, Monday, I guess consistently on record, has the most cautions in any series. It's a bit of a head turner, honestly, in terms of why that happens. But we are here nonetheless. So Sunday, we're going to start with Sunday, of course, since this happened first. And if we look to the qualifying, only one time was on the board. Liam was on pole for this race, and then everything else, the field was set by points. So Xander was first, UK second, Shackett P3, Hunty P4, T-Bird did not race, Mayo did not race, so Jordan Giles gets P6, Jacob did not race, so Wasted gets P7, Keith. And then moving on down here, we move into the first timers for the race. So those are the only ones that actually earned actual double race points for racing both races. Of course, last race was the Auto Club, and this race was Gateway. So currently, looking at the points right now, only 8 drivers have points for 2 races, and it's just very interesting to think of it like that. But that doesn't mean the competition's any less intense. So Liam, this is the date that the air of redemption was in the air. You have the cup race that some finished well, some didn't. So Liam, especially getting on pole, hitting that 3-strike lag policy, and had to ask to be left or leave the lobby at 8 laps to go. Definitely something that he wanted to do, but unfortunately that is the rule. And because of that, he wanted redemption. And he did. He was up there leading laps, and there he is right there in the 78. So he chose the outside, interestingly enough, for this run. Now, again, like I said, Sunday, if you want to watch the entire race, strategy was abound. A bunch of these guys had to go about different ways of thinking. And of course, you don't know if a caution is going to come out, and we know now that it didn't. So with that, we're going to start into the actual race itself and actually go into turn 1, because much like on Saturday, the turn 1 was so aggressive. Here, we're going to see it, but you're going to see this right here. The opening lap, turn 1, everyone was very close-knit, but finding a solid line with one another. That was the key, was getting into a rhythm really early. And Xander as well, trying to get that spot for lap lead. Turn 3, you can see some being aggressive in the back of the pack. That was Wasted. And the 66 of Bassbuck, 66 Bassbucks right here, making their races known, because they didn't have as good of a run as they wanted on Saturday, so they wanted to get it done. But the 61 of Keith was the one that got moved right there, with the 89 of Jagger, Angels fan, making his return to MRL. So with that, you can see some of these guys. If we look at the numbers, we're going to pause it here for a hot second. If we look at the numbers, out of the 14 drivers that were in the field, 10 of them were for points. So you had a very, very balanced match of 10 drivers all vying for different positions. But you can see that as the battling was moving on, Xander was making his case known that he was the fastest guy. The 54 and the 15 of teammates working together. But that battle for P2. So Xander, while he drives away, this is the battle for P2. Look at that! Everyone else behind so close. The competition was fierce, and they did it while being clean and respectful about it. It's weird how that works out. But we're going to skip ahead a little bit here. The very first green flag stop. As pit stops are happening, we're going to go into right here. We see Justin Shackett was one of the first to come on down pit lane. The undercut was so powerful here. The 18 of Xander is going to signal to come on down pit lane as well. The one thing I didn't mention so much in the Cup fast lane is that this pit lane is so tricky. The access road completely flat. You do not have traction down there. And because of that, you are in and amongst, I guess, the will of how much wear you have on your tires and how aggressive you want to get in. You can make up so much time by being aggressive, but as long as you don't overstep that bound, and you're going to be along for a ride. And I think you guys know what I'm getting at right here. So, of course, Xander has a massive lead over his teammate in the 66 of Bassbuck. But the 18 just cooks it way too much and goes and looks like he's parking it for the night. But that is a huge detriment right there. You can see all of his competition just moving on around him. He lost about 8 seconds worth of time by just doing that. It was insane. In fact, the 92 of Wasted kind of giving him a little bit slack, so therefore he really cooks it into the pits. He didn't speed, so that was good for him. But yeah, the 66 of Bassbuck in his debut race starting to stretch his legs a little bit. UK and then 15 of Hunty doing that as well. That was the biggest thing that happened. Because of that, if we skip on forward, the 18 is trying to get his way back forward. You can see he's already past the 10 right there. There he is, passing the 54 of UK, trying to get back up to the top 3, which is now Bassbuck and Hunty. It's a 90-lap race. The laps just ticked on by. And there was a lot of comers and goers. And at the end of this race, there was 3 DNFs. So by the end of it, there was 11 cars out on track. And eventually, the 4th car DNF with about 20 to go. So like about laps 70. But like I said, despite there being 10 cars on the track, look how intense the racing is. The 92 of Wasted trying to get it done, but the 10 of Justin Shackett closing that door, pinning him down there, and of course a little bit of beating and bang kind of showing disapproval right there. But yeah, like I said, you can see that the 54 of UK trying to do his best to get up to the up to the lead, and the 15 of Hunty trying to get his best. The 18 of Xander is still. The 15 of Hunty has already pit. The 54 of UK has not. Strategy was abound, like I said, and you can see that the pass for the lead has already been done. The 66 is now in P2 at this point, and the 15 of Hunty is a little bit up the road. I'm trying to get a camera shot of these two, but the 18 and the 66, of course, GMI teammates trying to get up there. The 15 is around here somewhere. There he is. But yeah, he was able to get it done, and like I said, redemption from last night. He was at one point a lap down in the Cup Series race, and he was looking to have a good run tonight, and he was doing that. In fact, actually, as we go towards the end of this race, it came on down to one of the late flags. This is the white flag at this point. The 61 getting out of the way. The 18 I put the bumper actually to the 66, saying, "Hey, yeah, you're not going fast enough. Let's kind of kick it up a little bit." And because of that, coming out of 4, going into 3, the 18 of Xander tries to do something right here, but it just won't be enough. And the 15 actually will get it done at Gateway. Of course, the rest of the field was separated by a few seconds. Look at that. The 92 and Justin Shackett were so close. These two were inseparable. UK was in a race by himself, 10 seconds ahead of his competition, but 7 seconds behind the leader. So he was just essentially just turning laps, unfortunately. Sometimes the races turn out like that. But because of that, you have Hunty getting his first win of the season. He said in his post-race interview that he was not expecting this to happen. But, sometimes those are the best wins when you don't expect it to happen. Xander, P2. Again, 2 nights in a row finishing P2. Bassbuck in his debut Lights race, P3, UK P4, Shackett P5, Wasted P6, Liam P7. He's going to be really happy with that after the abysmal night that he had last night. Story Square P8 in his return to the Sunday Night Lights. Jordan Jauja P9, Keith P10, and that is the last of our runners as Gio 33 laps down, Loho P12, Jagger had an engine failure on lap 30, and VT Fan on lap 7. So with that, that was the Sunday Light. So let's actually look to the points because despite his mistake, Xander was is now at a 10-point advantage over his fun season rival of Hunty. Now, as they go into Canadian Tire, the big storyline out of this is that Xander will not make the Sunday Lights race. So this essentially is putting the ball in Hunty's court because that means Xander will put in last place points in order to hold for as much of a lead as possible on Hunty. So what can he do to capitalize this? Ultimately, a win is the best scenario, but what can UK do? 15 points back to Xander, 5 back to Hunty, which if Xander can't race, is going to be the new championship leader, optimally. But don't forget about Justin Shaggett, 30 points back. Meanwhile, a tie between Jordan Jauja and Wasted here with Liam and P7. The points are so close, and as more drivers are filling up the Sunday slots, it's only going to get better. The team standings, though, it is a chaos crew. They are just dominating Sunday right now. But look at the midfield. VPR, Ramsey Wallace, RWI, and GMI are both all within 30 points of each other. So that is 3rd, 4th, and 5th in the owners' standings. Meanwhile, Mo Powell with Hunting UK are doing the best of their two drivers right here. But the biggest storyline out of RWI stable is that Wasted will no longer be with RWI. In fact, with MRL, this was his second to last race, with Monday being his last race. So with that, unfortunately, that puts Fireslayer as the lone RWI racer for Sundays. And with GMI, Xander's pulling solo, but he's doing a decent job himself. They're trying to get at least, looks like P3 in the standings for the owner's title at least. But GTR, Gator Racing, only making one start. That is with GTR Jacob. So we'll have to see how that moves as we look to the stats. Again, the power rankings, if you're watching this right now, are already released. So check out the league Twitter. Like I said, at Millennium Racing 2, you can see it right there. But you can basically see that even from the points that there is a big three. I hate that term, but sometimes it just happens like that. There is a big three on Sundays, and you're looking at them right here. But as we move to Canadian Tire next week, we have a bunch of road course ringers. Some of them are in these three, some are not. So check out those power rankings on the Twitter here after you watch this race. And with that, let's move to Mondays. So, like I said, Monday, a tale of two different races. We have 19 drivers as opposed to 14 from Sunday. And while Sunday went caution-free, Monday could not escape a caution. And it's weird to think about, honestly, because you have some races that go caution-free, like Sunday, and then there are some that just, you can't catch a break. I can't really explain it. It's just one of those things. So because of that, the qualifying was put in by B-Right Racing on pole. He had a burner of a lap, being a 10th faster of Nathan Agent Orange, and 4/10 faster than Gio, who, like I said last week, put in for Monday points. But Jose Proje, Long Live the Sauce, BD, Kalen, Loho, Maverick, the only drivers on this list that didn't race was Worscott and Ty Racing. After that, we move into only 4 Sunday drivers, meaning there was 15 drivers for points that showed up to race, and that was awesome to see. That being Story Square. We also had Bassbuck, Wasted showed up, and we also have we had a couple new drivers with us. That was Baseball Freak in the 10. You're gonna see him in a little bit. He is right there. That little black dot right there. That's the 10 of Baseball Freak. So excellent job from that. But like I said, with a 19 car field, it was a huge difference in the racing. There it is. There's the 10 right there. And as well as Angels fan, getting points from Monday, so technically that was his first race. 92 of Wasted, being out in the track. I'm actually not sure how he didn't DNF out of that race. But yeah, let's look at turn 1 real quick. As we see, many times going into turn 1, already the 39 sets the tone for putting into turn 1 and turn 3. Oh my goodness, watch out for turn 3 here. Because 3 wide racing, oh, that doesn't quite work. Everyone jockeys for position 4 wide going into turn 4 at that point. And with that, we already can see that this race is going to be one that is very close in competition. But yeah, that 39, lap 3, already full sending it, and we're going to be talking about that here in a second. But yeah, cautions, precautions, and when you have 5 abreast like that, it is not going to work. And actually, you can actually see just what I'm talking about right there. The 11 full sending it in. A lot of different drivers, the 36 as well, and penalties were handed on out, so that is nothing that you want to see, but it's one of those things that unfortunately you just can't really escape. So with that, 51 leads right now, a bunch of different winners. I'm counting 4, 5, 6. There is 10 different drivers who got points for leading a lap. So sometimes like it came at the cost of staying out for it to lead a lap during pit stops, or sometimes it was just straight up pace. You can see right now that in this particular instance the 51 retains the lead, but that changes as like the 93 will get points for leading a lap because he stayed out. But yeah, like that, you can see that those two were going at it. It not really was a good thing, but yeah, that's so with that, the full race can of course be seen right here. But yeah, just gotta skip on through. I'm essentially just setting the tone for how Mondays went, because as we can see right here, it was a sheesh moment. However, the 18 of the custom 18 of Xander definitely showed pace early on, as well as the 36 of Tiny NASCAR, as well as the 39. He did have pace. However, the drivers that did not surprisingly have pace was the 51 of Nathan, as well as our pole sitter, I guess for this season, the 74 of B-Rai Racing. We'll have to see how that turns on out in terms of where they finish, but the cautions that kept coming out, and sometimes you were the benefactor, sometimes you weren't, because it just, as more cautions came on out, more instances of turn 1, you can see in the background right there, just people washing up the track, tempers start flaring, and sometimes you get put into the wall like the 6-6 right there. It was not a happy time to be a driver on Mondays, because you go from this caution-free racing to this. It was a bit of a head turner for some and a head scratcher for me and myself and the admin team. But it came down to a green-white checkered finish, and you can actually see that as the race is going on, the 36 is trying to get a run on the 0. The 18 of Xander is currently leading, and you can actually see that moving into the last few laps of the race here, the 18 will actually hold on out, and I think actually I missed it. I overshot by a little bit right there. Right there, coming out of 4. The 18 of Xander finally getting redemption for the previous 2 races, finishing P2, and was able to get it done here. The 39, again, another P2 finish, and the 36 of Tiny NASCAR in P3. The biggest thing, though, I didn't think I caught it on stream, But there was an incident with the 51, just straight up going into turn 1 right here. He didn't think that he would make contact with anyone, but he did, and therefore got penalized. In fact, the list for penalties goes as such. Jose Protege in the 39. So as I go into the results, the 39 of Jose Protege gets docked 40 points and a 2-week probation. Tiny NASCAR, 2-week probation and a 25-point deduction as well. So our P2 and our P3 points earners get deducted on points. And with that, you go into Dakota. Right here, Dakota Drake is also on a 2-week probation. The reason he didn't get dock points is that he's a part-time driver. And then Wasted and Nathan. Nathan, because of his actions on the last lap, this was his first ever penalty. So he is on a 1-week probation and also receives a warning. The next warning means that he is suspended a race, and that follows him throughout the entire season. So we'll have to see if that becomes a factor later on. But you can see that Wasted also got penalized from that, and like I said, this was his last race with us here in MRL, but some did not have a good race and some did, and because of that, the points reflect that. With after penalties, Jose is now 15 points back from Gio, and actually if it was the other way around, he would be the points leader, but sometimes the admins and I both decided it was necessary after looking at clips. Same thing with Tiny NASCAR. He is sitting in P7 right now. And like I said, the warnings follow the entire season. Agent Orange, the previous 2 winners on Monday Night Lights for the champion, no less. He's good. He's in the hot seat right now. If he gets another warning, then he is suspended for a race. And then another suspension after that. That means you're gone an entire race week. So on and so forth from that. You have a big parity here in Monday. You can see that the points are separated. Some by only 6 points like that, and some by only only by 2. It's interesting to see nonetheless. But yeah, in terms of the team standings, very, very close. There's only 5 teams participating in the Monday Night Lights, and right now it's a competition between VPR as well as GMI. 85 points separate those, and you can see who's on the roster for who, as well as GMI. So GMI is doing it with 2, and VPR. Honestly, with 2 drivers that have not shown up for a race, it's really hurting their performance. But still, they're still leading the point standing, so I think that's still all right for them. But because of that, the stats, though, again, if you're watching this right now, that means power rankings are already up. I can tell you, unlike the Sunday series where there's a big 3, the parity here, very, very different. The stats do not lie on this, and I think you can basically tell as we go to Canadian Tire who's on top here, and we'll have to see how that goes. But because of that, we're going to turn on over to you guys. Who do you think will take Canadian Tire? Because unlike Sunday, there's only a few road course ringers here. We'll have to see how that goes in terms of the points after next week, and we'll have to see how it is in next week's Fastlane. So yeah, with that, I am your host, Private Patton, and I will catch you guys on the flip side. It has been a pleasure commentating over these races for you. Again, we'll have to see how Canadian Tire goes for these guys. Some will thrive, some won't, and because of that, it's only a matter of time. We'll see how the points turn on out after race 3 of the season. Until then, my name is Private Patton. Catch you next one. Peace.